Hi. This one's a little longer, and it's an important letter. This one's called Boyfriend Day. Dear Ewan, I'm breaking one of my big rules today. Don't fuck around with closeted guys. I don't think I've ever enjoyed cuddling with someone as much as this guy. He's not grumpy. He's interested in what's going on around. He takes care of me. He's always kind of watching our surroundings, scanning, protecting. He's been places, and today he's taking me to a gay nude beach that we have to hike into. But he's springing for a cab, so we don't have to get up as early and take the train. It's very nice. My first boyfriend was closeted. He was a hookup on Craigslist that I became infatuated with and kept trying to be around. 6'5", Texan, grumpy, bottom, who would top if I begged him for it. He was married the first 2 years we were seeing each other. His first wife had left him for another man, and his second wife was some kind of strange caretaker. He'd get annoyed with her and leave her at their other house on the other side of town, about an hour away. When he'd be alone, he'd hook up with guys on Craigslist, which compared to dating apps today was a dark, dark place. At the beach, I bring up PDA. How about here? He'll kiss me in a gay bar, so why not at a gay beach? He's hesitant, says no, gives me a peck on the cheek, and then lets a smile cross his face, like he's feeling something. We go in the water and are swimming around. Can I hold you a little? One of the great joys of my life is wrapping my legs around a man in water or having him wrap his legs around me. He assents, and for a good 30 seconds we slow dance, weightless. He pulls away, and we swim and laugh. The fish are nibbling at our feet, and it's kind of funny. He jokes that some Korean spa's fish must have been released. This is paradise. My first boyfriend was the first guy I started topping. He was so big and so manly, and I would get between his legs. He would snap at me if I went too fast, and it really taught me how to make love to a man without any pain. He was into guns and buying stuff off those channels on TV. He had 3 dogs that would lay in the bed with us. The first time I was sure I was in love with him was the first time I spent the night, and when I woke up, he was still holding me. My guy in Spain was holding me this morning, but it's 10x to anything I've experienced before. Neither of us seems to overheat, and we both seem to like it when the other draws us closer, pulling, twisting, rolling, smothering. It's all good. I've never had someone not eventually push away from how much I want to hold or be held. GIB was an exception. On the walk in, I thought, I wish I felt the same magnetism with GIB. It's close, but not quite as intense. My inner psychologist is saying it's because GIB is available and your soul is trying to lead you to feel the pain inside of being kept at arm's distance that you experienced with your dad. I think that's partially true, but ALIFTIMTS, Australian living in Florida that is moving to Spain, is also just different. What I learned with you, Ewan, we love who we love. Love isn't as personal as we'd like to believe, and we don't have control over who we believe are pretty rooted in me. After my Texan divorced his wife, we were always on again, off again. He was mean. He'd be sweet when he was lonely and mean when I was needy. We did MDMA once. The sex was incredible. He had extreme shoulder pain from being an airplane mechanic and was part of that wave of Americans addicted to opiates. Through the years, it got worse and worse. He was always learning new techniques to get more out of it, to the point he started mainlining it. I didn't know what to do. I met one of his daughters and one of his friends and was introduced as his friend. He stayed in bed watching TV more and more. I would pull away and be straight in my external world. I avoided going back to the gay bars. I tried dating women and would often fuck them, and after they left, I would drive to his house and fuck him. It was so fucking dark. Here at the beach, I'm letting myself have a boyfriend day. My brain has multiple Schrodinger's boxes open. Maybe this is a one time thing. Maybe I tell him I'm in love and see what happens. Maybe we see each other when we see each other. Maybe I tell him that I can't go down this road again. T and J are slightly closeted about us being a throuple, and I deserve a lion who stands with me in the eyes of the world. One thing that was holding my Texan back was that he was actually bisexual, and bi guys have a tough road because it's easier for them to pass. This was before Ellen DeGeneres came out and before Will and Grace kind of blasted being gay as normalcy. Straight people that are allies don't realize that most of us gays over 40 remember what it was like before they were so accepting. That memory is one of the reasons I'm so defensive of trans people. Straight people have all their opinions, but they don't realize that their opinions have an embedded subtext that their opinions, matter. If in 100 or 1,000 years all the trans people decided it was actually some failed experiment and they had read all the signs wrong, I wouldn't care. Nobody should wait for straight people to accept them before they live their lives. My Texan hired a female prostitute for us once. It was kind of fun. He wouldn't touch me when we all played, which confused me. Only a little, where she wouldn't notice. Tonight's my last night with ALIFTIMTS. We're going to stay at this beach, drink beers, go to the local bathhouse so he can take a shower. He's really into being clean. And then go back to our hotel 45 minutes away. I hope we make penetrative love tonight up against the couch in our room. I don't care who tops who. I want that closeness. I want to feel the physical love deeper. The master in the cult said, "Don't love people in the world. It's cruel. They don't know how to be with the kind of love that's coursing through us. Don't do it." I pulled away from my Texan in an attempt to find myself. I told him, I can't do this anymore. He was confused and sad and deep into the opiates. We didn't see each other for 6 months or so, and then he called me sounding desperate to connect. He came down to my place and was being super nice. Then he said there had been an incident at his sister's place and he wasn't going to talk to her anymore. I stayed over a few nights. I tried texting him and he didn't answer for 3 or 4 days. Apparently, right after I left, the police had raided his place and arrested him for molesting his 14-year-old niece. He called and told me and swore that he hadn't done it. Apparently, pictures were taken and sent, and Sprint had flagged them. Fast forward a year, and I'm with him and his mom at a courthouse in Texas. His mom and I waited in the lobby because we might be called to be character witnesses. We were never called in, and when he came out, after seeing the pictures, he said, "It's over." He had brought a gun with him and was planning to end it that night. His daughter arrived, found it, and hid it. He was furious, and he got his daughter to leave to pick up her sister who was arriving. He had told me that he was going to end it because he didn't want to be raped in prison. I thought, I guess people are allowed to make those decisions, but I was barely holding on. I had to leave that night to go back to work. He walked me to the door. Everybody was in a shared hotel room. In the hall, he kissed me like he had never kissed me before, fully. He smiled as I walked away, promising to come back in a few days. I was 25 minutes away on the highway when his mom called and said he was breathing funny. Fuck. Okay, I'll come back. I get back to the hotel and he's gasping for air and he won't wake up. His mom asks me what we should do, and in a flash, I wonder if I should put a pillow over his face. The image of my mother comes into my mind, and her eyes say, "You are not allowed to scar your soul." I look at his mother and say we should call the paramedics, even though he wants to die. If we don't, we could be in serious trouble, and he wouldn't have wanted that. The paramedics come and see that he's written, "Do not resuscitate" on his chest. They don't give a shit, as that's just some urban legend he had heard and believed. They say there's an actual form you have to fill out. He had taken a whole bottle of morphine, which apparently won't kill you but can cause brain damage. I leave again. The police give his mom a hard time, but not me, because our goodbye kiss was recorded on the hotel hallway cameras. I drive her up there a week later after he wakes up. The court treated the suicide attempt like fleeing the hearing and sentenced him to like 60 years in prison. We cried through the glass. I told him I loved him. He avowed that he would kill himself in prison. I knew I couldn't speak to him again. I respect anyone's right to die, but I can't sit in the waiting room for it. He sent me one letter to which I never replied. I told myself I wouldn't ever date a closeted man again. He's still in prison, and I'm still never speaking to him again. Darkness breeds darkness. The next day, I told Liz the entire 7-year story. I said, "Can you believe it?" "No," she said. "Don't ever go through something like that alone again." My guy here is getting back in the water, and I'm following him. In this moment in time, I'm going to let myself have a swim with this man I can feel is special. But I'm gearing up for a talk. Thanks for listening, Ewan. Mike.